welcome to episode 3 of my manga and anime recommendations. Today, if you know, but this is a recommendation, so who knows if you might know. Today's a little bit of a romance spiel. Both of these manga and anime that I'm covering are in the genre of romance. One of them does it both of them do it in very, I'd probably say odd fashions. But we'll discuss that as we go on. But yeah, I felt like pairing these two together because, why not? It would be cool if it was like, February or something, like the love season, but whatever. So, I'm going to start off with the manga. And this manga is called Veil. For the little bit of research I did on this before I got on this, is that this was like originally it was just a bunch of illustrations, which makes sense considering the contents. But it was originally just a bunch of like illustrations, and then over time the author started adding a little bit more story, some short stories and like some writings and excerpts about the characters. And yeah, it kind of makes sense considering how a lot of this story is put together. And it's not in a bad way. It just makes sense. Considering that like most of it was posted at first on like Twitter, other social media platforms and such, and eventually was published all in one book, which I don't have all of them yet. I've only read 3 volumes. But, they're all beautiful. Like, they're all really, like, and when they're all, put together, they, like, make, like, this big kind of portrait that looks pretty nice. At least I saw online. So, yeah, the main characters are Emma and Alexander. So, this book, I would like to describe a lot of the time, it is like literally, I think I literally saw an article that it is inspired by a lot of like fashion and specifically like Vogue magazine type of fashion. And it's set in the 1950s, kind of in a European French type of country. And yeah, it just has a very elegant atmosphere. The two characters, like a lot of the time they're wearing different outfits when they're not in their police uniforms. And the story kind of starts off with, it's pretty simple, man meets woman. That's really it. So one day Alexander is sitting on a step after almost falling into, not a pothole, like a sewer hole. I forgot what it's called, like the thing that's like open. I forgot to add that to my script. But yeah, like he falls into that, and then her being blind, Emma, she bumps into him. And that's kind of really how it starts. They crack a few jokes with each other. And he mentions that they have an opening at his police station for just for a person taking calls, or telephone operator. Literally says it right here. And yeah, that's kind of where the story starts. And a lot of the story it's kind of in a way where it's only like, it's minimal. There's like a few chapters. I don't actually have the exact count, but each chapter is literally only like 5 pages. Some even shorter. Like, see, there's like 14 chapters. And they're not really, they're not like put together in a way that's, no, it is kind of cohesive, but it's not really telling a story. It's mostly just telling like different vignettes in their lives, and just like slowly progression. Like at the start, the prologue, she has very, very short hair, like a pixie cut almost. And then like by the end of the book, like it's like progressively growing and growing, kind of just showing like, her freedom, because she comes from a rich family that like really closeted her because of her blindness, and she just really wants to explore the world and, you know, be free, be your own person. And yeah, the story jumps around. You won't really like, if when you're reading this, it's a completely different type of vibe. Like if you're expecting like even like the volumes I've read so far, if you're expecting like a specific, I don't know. With romance, it's kind of difficult because it's not like you really got to give like a, you know, a world-ending conflict or something like that, right? It's pretty simple. I mean, it's really just like they go to parties sometimes, they work together, of course, they dine together, they shop together, they crack jokes, they tease each other, just, you know, developing that relationship. They're like neighbors in the same complex, apartment complex, and yeah, just like you know, there's moments of her adjusting to her environment since she's blind, so that's like a new thing. And yeah, I mean, the characters, I wouldn't say they're basic, but they're like very like they just feel like real people, just like living their lives. Like that's really it. And I mean, that's kind of both of these things I'm talking about. It's just a slice of life, really. And yeah, it's really beautiful art. I mean, that's really the main appeal. Like if you want a deeper story or something, like deeper characters maybe, I would say like at least stay and look at the art, because the art is just immaculate. Like, and like the colors, like really like both characters, like more often than not, are wearing just blue and red. He wears blue, she wears red, and they're like differing outfits. There's always some kind of shade of that, and I don't know. It's a very compelling manga just for the art alone. And I also think I forgot to mention like the dialogue is really natural. It's really, I don't know, it just all falls together like real nicely. I don't even know how to explain it. You have to, you know, of course, read it. But you know, this, when I was reading this, like, because I only like got this like I think sometime last year I first read this, because I never read it when it was coming out. Like I saw it came out like first online at like 2017, 2018. I never even heard about this. But this manga really reminded me of this anime that like recently got adapted called The Invisible Man and His Soon to Be Wife. And the reason why I mentioned that story, because the manga is also kind of the same way. I don't know if it was originally formatted the same way, like, you know, output wise, but it was very much like short stories, and then, you know, the anime like compiled it all together in a more traditional fashion, I guess I would say, that feels a little more natural, like where the characters are going. Not that this, you know, doesn't have that, you know, progression with it, but you know, it's just a certain way. And I forgot to mention, like, between each chapter, if I can get there, not the prologue, because the prologue, yeah, between each chapter, there's usually some kind of monologue, either from Alexander or Emma's perspective, or some kind of third party talking about them. Like there's one of a couple talking about them coming to this cafe all the time and how they just look so cute together. But yeah, like, it's just a monologue kind of elaborating on what's, you know, of course, going on in their heads, and then also like going on just between them in general. And then you get some like illustrations, like, you know, like this, like them having some clothes, trying on some clothes or something like that, or like her sleeping. But like, yeah, it's not, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, I've never really read a manga like this where it is kind of just formatted this way. Like, this is kind of the first manga I ever read that's like that. But yeah, The Invisible Woman and The Soon to Be Wife is kind of like that, which is another reason kind of why I wanted to talk about this one, because I would love to see this as, you know, in an anime format. Like, I think like Kyoto Animation would do really well with this. They always do a very stylized projects a lot of the time, so I think they would, do really well with something like this. But yeah, that's that's kind of like how I would, describe this one. And yeah, let's move on to, and for this, I think it's only like, I think there's only 7 volumes. So like, unless you're like me, or you're like kind of scatterbrained and reading multiple things at once or watching multiple things at once, you'll probably get through this pretty quickly. Like, you'll fly through this, trust me. Especially since most of it is just illustrations and snippets of panels and sometimes monologue. So the next one is My Love Story. So this one is kind of a notable one, at least it was in the early 2000s, I recall, especially for the manga version. And the kind of thing that like irked me about this one is that it never got to that point of where the manga ended. I think there's still at least like 30 more chapters from where this one left off at. And shoot, like that's one thing I forgot to do when this came out. I'm pretty sure this came out in like 2010 or something like that. But yeah, this came out a bit ago, and it still hasn't got a second season, which is pretty disappointing. But at the very least, at least it got something. And for what it got, it was pretty good. Like, just to get into it, of course. The story is about Tokyo Gota, this main character right here, this tall guy. And yeah, he has a big heart. He's pretty bad with girls. And like most of the time he's like really insecure, and he kind of just expects like his best friend is like he's kind of like the character that's like, at least in some animes, is like the signature super handsome guy that all the girls fawn over, which, to be fair, that does happen in real life anyways. But yeah, he's used to being on the sidelines, and he simply just stands tall and accepts his fate. But one day he saves this girl right here, Yamamoto, and from a harasser on the train. And just from there, like, that's kind of where the story starts. And this story picks up, like, I'm sure there's other manga and animes like that, because I think there was one I read recently. I think it was Polar Opposites, I think it's called. I watched a bit of that recently, and that one like has their relationship start off pretty early. But yeah, on the 3rd episode, that's when they get together. Like, it doesn't take long. There's a bit of conflict with Takeo being a bit like insecure whether or not she likes him, and he thinks that Tsunekawa, he gets the wrong impression that Tsunekawa likes her. But instead it's like her going to him to like ask about Takeo and like, what he's about. So yeah, and that's also like another thing that recurs pretty often in this, which, is kind of more of what the conflict can be for this one, is Takeo's insecurities with being in a relationship. He's a little bit dense as well, but he means well. He's a really nice guy, but he's a little bit dense on certain aspects. He's never been in a relationship. So yeah, it's a very like, really, I can really surmise this anime as like just so sugary. Like, the main couple is like, love is just like, it's so sweet. Like, this like truly like young love, like lovey-dovey love, and just that development between the two of them. And also I'll mention in the manga, because I read that as soon as this one ended, they go to college, or at least getting ready for college. Kind of cuts off when they like actually go into college, but they graduate and go to college, kind of almost like Clannad. Well, not really, kind of after story. They didn't go to college, but they became adults. But yeah, like it's a young growing love. This is also in the shoujo genre, so I mean, If I'm being honest, shoujo mangas tend to be a low peak. Also, soundtrack wise, they always are peak. This soundtrack is so good. I listen to it a lot when I'm doing work or studying to vibe. But yeah, just it has a lot of heart. And I think it just simply works like super well for me, and I think it'll work well for a lot of people. It's funny. The progression feels earned. I kind of retract the statement after giving some thought, but I had like before, like it doesn't rely on too many like typical anime tropes, which is true. Like, I mean, the main character alone is kind of an enigma. Like, he doesn't look like Shikitono. If you know, you know. Just like a regular guy with like glasses, and he's like average height, and I don't know, has like scraggly hair or something like that. Like, I love Danadon, but like that's like probably my only complaint about like Okarun. He just looks like the usual like insert anime guy. But yeah, like he does not, like, I can relate to him a lot, like at least personally, at least as an American, because I'm a pretty tall guy myself. So him being tall, him being pretty muscular, it just fits. Like, it fits for me at least. And I think he's also just a really neat protagonist overall. And also kind of like this one, I could be wrong. I should have double checked this, but I'm pretty sure with this one it's split between an artist and a writer, and yeah, kind of the same thing with this one too with the original manga. It was Kazunu Kawahara, and it was illustrated by Arako. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong, but yeah, it is a really fun, really sweet. Like, it's the kind of anime you could just throw on without any worries in the background, and you'll be fine. Like, nothing really weird pops up, besides from two things that I'll mention, and it's probably not the things that you might think. And like some of these, if you're used to anime, like, you know, random boobs popping up or something like that, or like there is a beach episode, but like it's not anything explicit, or like it's just a bunch of dudes being super horny or something like that. No, it's not, nothing like that. The problem I have with this, but actually let me talk about one more positive. My favorite character in this anime is Tsunekawa. This guy right here, bro, he is such a homie. Like, he reminds me of me, because like he's just a loyal guy that like he just wants to help out his bro, and he also is like encourages the people he loves. And I can understand why the ladies like him. He's suave, man. Like, the dude is just chill. He's laid back. He doesn't like being the center of attention, but he always ends up being the center of attention. And yeah, he's just a really chill dude that like, it was really unexpected for me, for just his character. Like, maybe I can't think of it right now, but like there's not a lot of characters I can think of that like the handsome dude is just a chill dude that like really doesn't have, I don't want to say any flaws, but like he isn't trying to mess with like the main character in a way. Like, he's truly a friend. And he always like helps him out. Like, like Takeo, he comes to him like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And he's like, dude, like, it's so simple, blah, 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 blah. And he tells him some words of encouragement. Like, he's silent most of the time, but when he speaks, he has something really important to say. He's like that type of a guy. And yeah, it's really just endearing watching him as well. But yeah, like, speaking on Tsunekawa, oh my gosh, his sister, also a pretty cool character, sweet character, but his sister has like this, I don't even say friend, a classmate, an associate that like really has like the biggest crush on her. And she's an older sister, so she's in college, and this dude like follows her around almost in a stalker fashion, and he's so obsessed with her that he'll do anything, like become friends with Takio just to get close to her and know more about her. And it's just like I don't even know how to describe it. It's done in such a weird way, that like it's really unnerving. And like I like for me, I skipped the episode that he's in. His name is Hayato. But I always skip the episode that he's in because it's so cringy. Also, the manga has a whole arc with him that's like really, really uncomfortable. He does develop from it, but like it's really odd. Like I really don't know why. I get probably like the manga and also just the writers in general, for the anime. Most likely we're like, well, we can't have this be like la da da the whole time. Like we have to have some type of support that has some type of conflict with the other characters. And yeah, this character brings that. And yeah, he's just a weirdo. And yeah, there are like other weirdos in this too. Like Yamato has also like not a stalker, but like a guy that has a crush on her that like really goes out of his way to like place a barrier between her and Takio. But he didn't bother me that much as like Hayato. And yeah, the other one is Amani, and she's like she has a crush on Sunakawa. Like she's like this really shy girl. And also the characters I'm mentioning too, they have like one episode, and they do come up like I guess kind of throughout the series, both in the manga and in the anime, and like, you know, behind the scenes, or like, you know, in minor parts, but they're not like significant characters, besides from their one designated episode. But yeah, Amani, she's like a shy, like she's literally like, they literally call her a stalker. She's like literally a stalker, and she's been stalking Sunakawa for 10 years, ever since like he was friendly to her in kindergarten. And yeah, she's really, really odd. She does get better. But you know, she has such she has a crush where like, you know, she's so overwhelmingly obsessed with him that like, even when the opportunity comes where like she's able to finally like confess to him, she doesn't do it. She'd rather just stay in the background and just look at him from afar. It's really, really odd. It's just my own personal pet peeves. I get why they're there, but I could have done without like having like more than one. Like I feel like at least one would have been fine, but we have like several, and I'm like there's already conflict. That, to be honest, there is actually, you know, other conflict. I said there wasn't. There is actual other conflict that happens in the story. Like something happens with Sunakawa's dad that's like really crucial to his life, that we find out throughout the story. And then, oh, not his dad, his mom. And then Takio, he has a baby sister, so there's like stuff with that. Like a newborn baby sister, I should rephrase. And he's just like throughout earlier in the anime, like trying to take care of his pregnant mom. So yeah, there's like different stuff. Also Yamato, this doesn't come up until later, I guess. There's one episode actually where they're talking about like being in the same schools for college, but you know, that doesn't happen like really. It's more like just foreshadowing for like later, but it is something that's brought up that's like, yeah, like where's our relationship going to go with that? So there's conflict, of course. I shouldn't say there isn't conflict. Like that's something I had to work on. But yeah, there is conflict, but like the ones I mentioned with the actual people are the ones that like I could have used without. It irks me a bit when I'm rewatching it, which is part of the reason why I still recommend this, but it's like those episodes are like I really would like to see what other people think, because those specific episodes are like super eye rolly. Like I always skip them. But yeah, like if you want a nice like kickback anime to throw on and chill for the summer, this one is definitely for you. Like it's only 24 episodes. It's funny, it's chill, it's sweet. And, you know, if you're itching for a little bit of romance, I recommend it. And with that said, have a blessed day. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed my video, and have a good day.